Hey, what's going on, chat? How are you doing tonight? Yeah, that's right. I'm back. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? So I want to come back a little thunder here, and I reached out and talked to for a bit with good old top tier rated Brian, who's been around for quite some time in the DSP circles, but he took a break for a while, and we'll talk with him, and we'll enjoy a nice proper chill stream. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are excited. It's very rare we get the chance to speak with somebody from the inner circle, so to speak, of Phil. Brian is considered to be one of probably Phil's only friends currently at this time. And don't worry, I'll get to like super chats and shit like that later. But the main headline is talking with Brian, and we're gonna bring him in here right now. So big ups chat, big ups to all you guys, and ready to jump over. Hey Brian, how's it going? Hopefully you're doing well. Got you.
Oh, I'm muted. I'm going on, brother. What's going on, brother?
I mean, should be all good to go though. What's going on? Yeah, I see an echo here, so I'll try to bounce that off real quick. Hopefully,
you're getting double audio from me. Double audio.
Yeah, I think I know where it's from though. So I'm
okay. Okay.
All right, let's try it there. Hopefully that'll bring him back. We're trying to fix the echo. Sorry,
all right, test.
I'm a little rusty, chat. Hopefully that should be fixed though. It's been a while since I've had a guest on, that's for sure. Since the days of like closing my closet, but we should be good to go. I just didn't click a certain deafen button, but no worries, no worries. So Brian, how you been? How was your 9 to 5 day, so to speak?
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. it's one of them things. I got there a little later than I wanted to, but when your employer works you 10 days straight, you tend to burn out from exhaustion, and with trying to actually produce some streams for the internet here, I was burned, brother.
Oh, I feel it.
So yeah, aside from that, it's pretty good, man.
Good. How'd you balance doing this whole 9 to 5 job and trying to a hobby stream on the side, doing a side hustle as I see it?
Honestly, it really, I'm gonna be honest, it comes down to Street Fighter 6.
Okay.
Because for the longest now, I've always been like super competitive in fighting games. I started with Injustice 2. I ended up winning my first tournament with Mortal Kombat X at like a local here in Philadelphia. And since then, I had like the urge to like compete. I wanted to do it in Street Fighter 5. The game was just not good though. I didn't start liking Street Fighter 5 until I want to say season 3.5. Basically, when G came out is when the game started changing for the better. But at that point, I'm like, I don't even want to compete in this game. I'll just wait for Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 drops, and sky's the limit with it. I haven't stopped competing. I'd like to go to more locals, but your 9 to 5 kind of keeps you from doing that all the time.
When was the last tournament you played in?
The last one I played with him was a local here in Philly called Shadow Warriors. This was like the 9th version of that one. I did decently, but ultimately I lost to who is now a friend of mine. A really, really good Marissa player. She's it went down to the wire, but ultimately she kicked my ass. She beat me in neutral. I was not punishing her enough, but that was my last local. The most recent one I'll be going to soon will be Too Many Games, actually. I found that out today.
Oh, dope. Congratulations. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What other streaming games do you usually play? Like I've seen you do some what was it? GTA Online, I think was the last stuff I saw from you personally.
So For GTA Online, it's more so the role play. Like I know you guys are probably familiar with that. You know, you got the XQCs and some of the bigger streamers who do role play. That's what I've done for the greater part of 2.5 years. Like within my disappearance from like kind of doing YouTube content, I started building an audience here on Twitch through the GTA RP community, and it was really good. Yeah, 5M RP. It was really good for me.
So I just asked Brian, who reached out to who when you guys played Street Fighter 6. So
all right, can I be heard? Am I good?
yeah, you're good to go. We're back in. We just get
making sure.
Yeah, just an average Agent Proper stream. That's usually how it goes.
All right. Anywho, so Phil reached out to me.
Okay. And how did that go? Because last time you guys played together, it was Apex Legends with his boy Kekken, and you guys carried the streams.
Right.
And then what? You laughed at his 2K cat stuff here or there. I saw blips of you, but did he just out of the blue ask you?
So yeah, he it was completely out of left field. I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. And I just get a random email. I'm like, oh wait a minute, this is actually a new email. And I check in, and it's him. He's he's the email started out very very friendly, very kind of like an old friend from the past trying to rekindle something that was lost potentially. Okay. That's what it came across as. Like he didn't even mention Street Fighter 6 right away.
So he hit you up with the Hotmail. And what was it like? Because we don't get to see any of these kind of interactions ever.
Mm-hmm.
Did he just go, hey man, I want to play some Street Fighter with you? Or is it's been a long time, let's get some sets in?
Yeah, pretty much in a nutshell.
Okay. And you just,
damn baby man, why I gotta be cringe, bro?
Anyway, you just ran with it then and just went for it and just said, yeah, and you know what, I'm not missing anything, and you jumped into it. And
yeah, I'm not sure if he saw that I was pretty frequent on Street Fighter 6 because I was tweeting my TikToks and my YouTube streams, or excuse me, Twitch streams. So maybe he had seen that I've been playing it on Twitter, because he does follow me on Twitter, so he could have seen it.
And you said, yeah, I could get the practice in. Let's try something. Let's go for it.
I'm sorry, say that again.
So you just jumped for it and you just said, sure, why not? Like I'm down to get some matches in.
Yeah, I had no reason not to. I mean, because again, I was super behind on any lore dealing with him. The last thing I had heard of was the 2K cat thing, which I openly made a video about. Well, I didn't make a video, I was streaming. And just like with the recent video somebody asked me to look at, I commented. I always been opinionated about the things that Phil does, and I've told him to his face, even about the 2K cat thing. None of this is news to him. Okay,
so with none of it being news to him, and you hit me up with information, like asking me for information about a certain DSP chatter, good old Darish, who you unfortunately have gotten to see the tip of the iceberg when it comes to DSP fans with him.
Right.
You mentioned that you brought this up between you and Phil, and did he ghost you on that? Did he ever give you an actual answer?
Yes, he did. He did provide a very lengthy, detailed answer, to which I'm not going to disclose the details of that. But it basically ended with me saying, from my perspective, I said, if anything is found out that this dude is in fact everything people are saying, and or it's some things that that we just can't pretend it doesn't exist, like, bro, you gotta ban him.
But so I feel you, but
and he
just he protects Derek. he protects him all the time. I mean, even today during his React stream, Phil had an unfortunate event where he didn't screen a certain video, and there was a little clip you might be seeing flying around on Twitter. Very inappropriate for a stream, but they definitely blasted Darish all over that. And for the most part, I've seen Darish ask for Phil to straight up ban people for him. Like, it's a weird, strange relationship between him and Phil. For whatever reason, they seem to be, Derek seems to be making the thumbnails for Phil currently, because obviously he went on vacation to, Asia and did a family event, and then Phil's thumbnails froze. Like, they weren't being uploaded. They were just kind of screenshots of his stream. And when Darius came back, magically thumbnails are back. So they're working hand in hand in some way. I assume they talk like you do and Phil do through emails, if that's his primary means of communication at this point. What do you feel about Darish? Like how do you feel about all this? Are you concerned at all that this kind of fandom will rub off on you in any way?
Oh, it was so much a concern. That's why I brought it up to him. Like I don't bite my tongue with anything, especially if it's involving children or of that sort. Like child porn and shit like that is not funny. It's not excusable either. So with that being said, I made the decision to ask these questions, get the information, confront him openly about it. You know what I mean? And I got the answer that I wouldn't say I was looking for, but it was better than not knowing anything.
This whole Darish thing and trying to move this along for chat and everybody. When you heard all the information I put out there and you discussed it with Phil, were you satisfied with his answer at all?
No, I could never be satisfied with his answers, because had he been in my community, I probably would have banned him already. Okay. Just on the strength of that, I can't control whether these things are true or false. Does that make sense? So yeah. the risk of it being all true, and worse than what we already know, are way too high. Therefore, you banned in my community. That's just me. And again, this is all stuff I've told him. With that being said, I said to him, I'm down to do what we had planned because it was already promised. I like to keep my word. And that's why it went forward. Keep in mind, it was postponed because I had basically canceled because of that Derek shit.
Oh, so you canceled the stream on him because of the Derek shit?
Because of the Derek shit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's really interesting. I mean, I feel you right there. Yeah, I would totally back out too. And did
because it's too much. It's too much. Yeah.
Did he come back to you with any other response to try to get you to come back to his stream? I assume something came up to where you decided to come back again and stream with him once more, or are you done?
What do you mean after the Derek thing, or you mean like after moving past that?
After moving past it, you had your one last session, and then you saw all the clips in your live stream that people were trying to show you. What happened after that?
Mm-hmm. So after that, he told me he would, keep an eye on him or whatever, and
keep an eye on him.
He would do exactly what I asked of.
Darish has been watching.
He would do exactly what I asked of, which is.
Oh, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
He would do exactly what I ask of, which is ban him the moment anything comes out that is like irredeemable. That was his promise to me that he would.
Okay.
And that was it.
Interesting. Well, like there's got to be a line there somewhere, and it will be like it's strange because Darish has been watching Phil since he was 13.
And so that's one of the things he brought up, is that a lot of these allegations And this is why I say the risk of it being true, untrue, are way too fucking risky to even give it a possibility of something I would want to entertain. He brought up the age thing of all this stuff happening when he was very young. So it's like, fuck, I don't know how old this dude was when all this shit came about. I have no idea.
Okay, so you have, like, I showed you those little girl playlists that I used to have. I mean,
right,
I've seen him following girls on Instagram, really kind of uncomfortable stuff. And even for somebody of me, and like I've seen the shit of the shit on the internet. Like that's my go-to. That's what I like. That's kind of what I'm entertained by in a roundabout way. But it's just I'm disappointed with Phil for not drawing a line for his own community. Is this what?
I agree.
Is this going to ruin streaming with Phil for you?
I mean, it already has, because it put basically a doubt in the back of my mind about this one particular person that's kind of a dedicated viewer. And I personally don't have an issue with Derek, excuse me.
Okay.
But
that's fair.
Those things provide me with an issue now.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't fucking excuse it, bro. So I do the things that I promised to do already.
Okay. And
then at that point forward, I really don't know. I can just kind of move on and do what I do.
Yeah, I get that. It is one of those lines that you know, with dealing with Phil is, again, Darish is just the tip of the iceberg. That's what most people go to and see for the first time. But like, I've seen Phil mock his chat, call them mouth droolers, you know, say terrible things to his chat over and over again. Yet he's fine with people having racist remarks in his chat for long periods of time. Like, he used to have a fan named Sidella. And this guy eventually walked away from Phil and said that he didn't want to be any part of his community anymore. And he was sorry for the things he said about restreamers like, you know, Almighty Tevin or any of the other people. He called them terrible things and wished upon them death and all sorts of stuff. Yet it was let go by Phil repeatedly because he felt some kind of connection to them. Just like, you know, there's a guy, a bent boxer right now. He goes by Canadian Kurt, is who he's out there. Haseo's another one. And these guys use this very inappropriate, pretty racial talk in his chat, but they're given the green light and they're fine to keep going just because they pay money to Phil. And it's very disappointing that he doesn't clean up his community like that, and that he really doesn't. He doesn't try to police his community, his chat. Like, I've seen sexual roleplay in there. I've seen various other
sexual roleplay.
Yeah, like people talking like they're rubbing up against each other in the chat window for everybody else to see. Like, it's a hard place to get into. I mean, Phil has, by his own standards on YouTube, you can't even live chat with him unless if you've subbed to him for over 24 hours. And then he's restrictive on his language. He's got a bunch of banned words that are very strange. Subaru, horse, you know, the memes. And there's... And again, we're only scratching the surface here. And I don't want to drag you deep into the rabbit hole. I like to rather see somebody do some research on their own if it catches their fancy, to be honest.
Right. But I'd much prefer that.
Yeah. Have you been in contact?
The research... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I got another question brewing out.
I was going to say the research with the whole Derek stuff is super serious, which is why I seeked it out, because that's a no me.
Okay.
But as far as like a lot of the other stuff that I've been being told about how he scams and shit like that, like, look, bro, there's only so much I can do about that. I thought the cat thing was bullshit. I called it out way back then. I told him, bro, 2K for a cat is crazy. He didn't respond. Yeah. At this point, I text him that. This wasn't an email. But
Now, if you want to get into crazy numbers and things like that, Phil claims that he spends $5,000 a month on his business expenses at this point to run his streaming. How much? How much would you say you actually spend a month trying to like stream as a hobby even? When was the last time you made an upgrade or anything like that? Can you think of anything on that?
yeah, it wasn't $5,000 though. I mean,
Yeah,
I just bought a new mouse. That's
nice.
about it. And that was I just bought a new mouse and that was like $25. It wasn't nothing crazy
Okay, so
because
so
I'm using controller for 90% of my games, so
but you're not spending
I
five
don't
grand a
really
month?
know what kind of hell no.
No? Okay. Do you play mobile games by chance?
I've checked out what is that game called? Street Fighter Duel. I
Ooh,
did that
okay.
for a little bit.
Yeah, I think Phil has an account on that. But mainly he loves gotcha games. He's been addicted to them hopelessly for years. I've counted 13 of them that he's played and wailed out in. And currently
Hmm.
the lore is, have you heard the lore about WWE champions and that whole thing?
I've been hearing the lore, but again, it's not relevant to me, so I stayed away from it.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you don't need to pocket watch the guy if you're gonna stream with him, I guess, at some point. It's strange to me how he can beg for different upgrades for his home, such as broken showers,
Hmm.
broken garbage disposals, um, broken just vacuums, whatever he can, and he for whatever reason somehow needs to keep begging for money as a content creator. What kind of light do you
Right.
think that puts him into? Is that a professional move on his point, or is this kind of a bad call in your opinion as a aspiring streamer?
Repeat the question for me one more time, just so I give you an appropriate answer.
So Phil tends to put his financial burdens, his personal ones that happen to his house and
Mhm.
home and vehicle, um, he tends to put that financial burden onto his chat and onto his fan base. Do you think that's an appropriate
Verbally.
move for somebody? Verbally tells him this. Like he's made fundraisers
So
to
he
save his
verbally tells
house.
this to his chat.
Yes.
Okay.
Like he's made a fundraiser before to save his house from the tax man. There was one time many years ago he needed to raise $17,000, and this is a guy who makes 100K plus a year. No doubt about it. Phil makes probably about $120,000 a year streaming
So
to.
ever has he ever gone on record and saying like things to his chat along the lines of, "Oh, I'm being completely transparent" or something like that? Like he's basically trying to use him telling you exactly what it's for as a honesty bait in a sense. Does he
he,
do that?
he loves to tell people that he's being honest, but to detractors, that just means, hey, listen up, I need to tell you something important, and it involves money. Like, he needs to
Oh,
tell people that he has problems, that he's a victim for something, that, something didn't work out for him. Just the other day, I mean, even today, I think it was, that he was, no, yesterday he was begging for a stream deck for a setup. Or some kind of, computing, masterpiece rig so he can stream and play video games on a gaming PC. He wants something about $2,000 for it. Is what he's looking for. But he,
$2,000 for a gaming PC.
yeah,
Okay.
to stream and do what you and I are doing right now without Comcast interrupting me.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's ending up currently taking Catherine, his wife's PC, and going to be using it at some point this summer to use that as a new streaming device. Um, he tends to do a lot of trying to victim spin things. He tries to tell people he has two big bills here, two big bills there, or something has gone wrong. For instance, something went wrong. Somebody apparently stole a car tire off of their vehicle, and it's usually these guilt trips that come with it. Even as something as simple as telling his audience that he needs to show up they need to contribute, and that means money, view and like his streams and videos, and talk to him. He gets really mad if you don't talk to him about the game. You saw the whole steak rant, right?
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that's, again, this is just tip of the iceberg stuff. I mean, it, like, as somebody who would you consider yourself his friend at this point?
Friend is a very loose term that's being thrown around. I can't really call him my friend. That's hard. Is he a internet associate? A friend in that sense? Absolutely. But I can't sit here and say like, oh, he's on the same level as my friends that I literally played Street Fighter with the other night. That's not, no. The term friend is thrown around way too much. That's no.
Would he benefit
Now,
from actually having a friend? Somebody who's going to be cut and dry with him at this point?
Yes, and I'm gonna break it down for you. So this is something that I feel like had Phil not kind of put himself into this bubble, right? And he would have allowed exactly what he'll call me his friend or whatever. Fine. If he would have allowed people to tell him when his shit stinked way back when, which is why he kind of sent that email, like, disappeared and blah, 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 blah. Had that not happened, sure, I would have been up for the friend terminology. Absolutely. But with that being said, you close yourself off. You put yourself into this box. Friends do what? They tell you when you're being a dumbass. They tell you when you're making good decisions. They tell you when you're making bad decisions. That's what a friend does. He doesn't allow his friends to do that. So, yes, he would benefit from having friends, but he doesn't because he doesn't allow it to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I like that answer. That's well said. I really appreciate that because, I've made some good, solid friends over the internet, and I'm sure you have too, and you probably still play video games with them on the nightly, if not whenever you can get a session in, being you work a 9 to 5. Do you think your friend group over that you try to jump in with Phil, do you think that they would have gone on that stream and partied up with Phil?
So here's what I did. I hit my friends up. Really good players. These are tournament people that would probably have destroyed him way more than I fucking did. They all were down to get into a lobby with him. And they weren't going to troll him. They weren't going to be assholes. They were just going to get on a mic and we were all just going to shoot the shit like gentlemen and play Street Fighter. It was going to be a damn good lobby. My one friend Eric that y'all might have seen me playing the other night, really good player. He wanted to play. Unfortunately, people fell asleep. All of my friends have 9 to 5 jobs, man. Yeah. Nobody's streaming full time. So we were definitely going to come with the content for you guys. We were definitely bringing it. And Phil was down to do the lobbies, actually.
Oh, okay.
Which surprised me. I was actually very surprised that he was actually open to do it.
I mean, I would be surprised too, because most of the time if somebody got on a live mic with Phil and were able to talk to him and interact with him, like you did on the other stream, he seems very alien. He comes off as kind of just, socially stunted. It might be from just years of being a shut-in in his own little world of a hug box on the internet. But I think he only gets out one day a week into the real world at this point. Socially, do you think that this hurts him?
It does. Oh, you got a cat. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, cat.
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
Did you charge your chat money to see him?
No, I did not charge my chat any money to see any of my cats.
I will forever make fun of that.
You should. I
And
mean,
like I said, I've said this to him. I will forever make fun of that. That shit was crazy.
you should. It's
But
insane, and it's not the only time he's ever done anything like that. He used to run different things through his whole Patreon about trying to get a camera and doing certain playthroughs for people, and he pulled the ripcord on them. Be like, oh, I can't play Mario Sunshine because I already played 3 Mario games. Or, hey, my wife's going to show up on stream, which happened for the first time in like 5 years. We finally saw his wife show up. And
right.
she gained some weight. She gained some weight. And that's just her choice. I don't know what's going on with that.
I've seen a picture on somebody's Twitter.
I'm sure you might see a few more pictures
Definitely
after tonight.
looks different.
Yeah, she does. Do you think it's a stressful situation to deal with Phil on a day-to-day basis with your own interaction? Was it pretty simple, or was it him demanding from you? Did it feel like that at all?
No, he never demanded anything.
Okay.
When it came to him asking for things or trying to set stuff up, he was very nice, very respectful. No issues with that. He was always really respectful to me. The only negative thing I could say about him is that he, like I said before, he puts himself into this bubble, and I don't know why. I understand trying to isolate yourself from the quote unquote detractors, and trying to protect the people you deem as your friends or family or people you care about, so that the detractors. Go ahead.
I think my stream finished.
Oh, is it fucked up again?
Reason. Yeah, but my OBS is still running. That's weird. It didn't even give me a warning or anything from that. So we should be fine. We should be fine.
We
should be still running. Yeah, we should be still good. I just looked over and all of a sudden it just said, "Hey man, like you're running it down." But we're still good. Chat says we're good, so we're good. Making sure. Don't need any more Comcast, rug pulls anymore. Let's see here. So we talked about Cat. We talked about streaming. What are your personal goals with your streaming? I think that's something I would like to ask you.
Okay, so for me, streaming is a job. A lot of people would love to. Streaming is a hobby that a lot of people will want to make a job. Correct? Most people do. Would I love to do it full time? Absolutely. Would love to do it full time. I would want to do it on my own merits though, and I don't want to put myself into this box where my streams are only this, my streams are only that. I prefer it to be more of a kind of like a free bird type stream, kind of similar to shouts out to Doc, similar to how Doc runs his streams, where it feels like a show. It's not this super conflicted, or should I say constricting setup to where you're stuck on one thing. Sure, you may enter that stream with an idea, like I'm going to start with Street Fighter 6 tonight. But shit, an hour in, I might not feel like playing Street Fighter no more. All of a sudden, I'm playing Fortnite. 30 minutes later, I'm watching random ass videos on YouTube. I can curse here, right?
Oh yeah, you can say whatever you want, man. You can use whatever slur you want or say whatever you want. I'm game for it.
Yeah. So financially is not something I was really looking forward to with streaming. I wasn't looking for finances, not by any means. I pretty much used it at first as a tool for me to practice voice acting, which is why I got into GTA roleplay. Because ultimately my goal is to be a voice actor. That's my goal.
Yeah, I think I saw your voice actor.
Voice acting is where I want to be. Yes. And so streaming, what better place to get your practice in than basically improv, where there is no script. The only thing you have, you are the star of the show. You have to react to situations around you. You have to react to situations that you don't even know are going to happen within the next couple minutes. And you can either choose to make them entertaining or you can just ignore them. But a good voice actor, somebody that's trying to get better, always adapts to every situation. The perfect setup for that is streaming. So I'm like, it's practice time. Got into GTA roleplay, sent my acting skills from 0 to like 70. I'm not at 100 yet. I'm humble.
Okay.
I'll
Okay,
get there one day.
Yeah, I mean, it always takes practice. I feel you.
Yeah.
So are you more focused on Street Fighter 6 than any other game currently?
Yes, if we're talking competitive, yes.
Okay.
Street Fighter 6 is my competitive game. My fun game is, the Fortnites, the Elden Ring. Who plays Elden Ring for fun I don't know, but I do.
I like a good hard game. That's for sure. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 solo lately. That's been a good time. I just transferred over to PC gaming. I play a lot of Destiny 2. I tried to get you back into it. You gotta team up with me. You want to team up with me and play some Destiny 2? We can call Kat. We can get her on the phone.
That would be something I would be down for.
We'll get Tia's wife. She's playing Destiny 2. We'll get her the sweet exotics. We'll catch her up to speed. We'll get a game in, run a raid. I don't know. It's just fun to play video games with people. And I don't get it. I played with some of the guys in chat you're seeing, like Lefty and some of these other guys. We got some Halo in there together. That was a ton of fun. It's been good. I always like to broaden my horizons too. Maybe I'll have to actually get into some fighting games. Would you play some sets with me and laugh at me when I'm just a punching bag?
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm always down to, show people the ropes and give pointers, because my Street Fighter learning, or should I say career, started with Third Strike. I was garbage in that game. Street Fighter 4, I didn't get good in Street Fighter 4 until Ultra came out. Is when I finally feel like I started actually really playing the game. Street Fighter 5 was decent, but I didn't actually feel good until the end of the game life cycle, when I really got into how Vega operated, what made you better at Street Fighter than the person you're going up against in Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 6, I hit the ground running, because from the beta, I'm like, oh, this is it. This is my game.
That's nice. My personal favorite, if I was to get into any Street Fighter, it's Third Strike. I don't know. It just fits me. I like its art style. I like the super system. I'm a big fan of every part of that game, top to bottom. The music is fantastic. It's been real good.
It is. I will say this: Street Fighter Third Strike is what the parry system should be in 6. I think the parry system in 6 is a little too easy. It should be how it is in Third Strike, because getting perfect parries is way too easy.
Now, I'm going to ask a little bit of a difficult question. How do you feel about Phil's racism over the years?
Okay, so this is all new to me.
Okay. Can I show you
now? So
clip?
you're going to have to, yeah.
I got a clip for you, and I think it's pretty important to go over. So let me put this up here. It's from the Side Scrollers interview. He did a 5-hour interview with the Side Scrollers. It was Craig, Adam Krigler, that whole crew. It was a kind of a tell-all.
Okay.
And what ended up happening is that Phil had some kind of a weird comment during one of these kind of walking simulator games that he was doing. It's the slave trade comment that he made, and it's. Let me get your take on this.
Okay.
I got it lined up here. You should be able to see it. If not, you'll hear it on stream, and we'll get it for you. And I just want your raw reaction to how this whole thing plays out.
Alrighty.
But the stigma remains.
Well, let's talk about something real quick that can add to that stigma, right? And I think this is important. You said the light bulb went off, about a year ago. You got to change. You changed your background and stuff.
this is the lead up to the.
But I want to bring up, like, there's still jokes that are made that that don't necessarily, like, they don't fit today. And I want to play one for you really quick and just kind of get your reaction to this. Okay, so this is yeah. So you know where this is going, and I want to watch this so we all understand what's going on here.
Make this quick. All right, boys, prepare the slave trade. We're selling her right off for profit. You know how much I love you, right?
Oh, all the way to now.
Scared you just look up at the sky and land the battle chain.
Okay.
Put the kid in the vehicle. Stay with her. Right, she's too valuable to escape. She's worth lots of money.
We're Tire Rack. We test
Maybe
tires to provide you with truth.
I'll stop it there, but that's a whole clip. What do you think about that?
So, first of all, there's no reason to make that joke. Because I highly doubt the game was about what he just said. Or was it about, or should I say, in a time period in which that would even make sense for that to come across his mind? Am I correct in saying this?
You're correct. It did not have any relevance to what the context of the video game was. I mean, Phil would argue after that ad roll that he didn't believe he was racist for calling it out, but other people were if they went after him for it.
There's only I think racist is probably the wrong word to use here.
Okay.
It was a shitty thing to say. Does it have racist tones to it? Absolutely. There was literally no excuse for him to make that joke. The only situation to where I could say, okay, I see what he's saying, is if it was in a time period of what was happening and the character was doing that the entire game. Considering that did not happen at all, yeah, there's no fucking excuse whatsoever for him to have made that joke.
Now, there's a detractor meme out there. I'm sure you saw it in chat. A lot of people put up the orange face and the fingernail bite because Phil has a habit to bite his fingernails whenever a person of color shows up on his streams. It'd be in the game or talking to him or anything like that. I'm sure we'll get flooded by the chat with those. But I got his response.
Wait, he bites his fingernail, you said? When
it's kind of like an auto. Yeah, it's a weird auto response. And it's been a meme for a couple of years now. But
did he do that in that video we just watched? Actually, I didn't look for that.
He might have, but he definitely does it more often than not, to be honest. And it's very strange and awkward. And it's usually during, if a black person shows up on stream, he has to do some weird racist jokes about chitlins and, smoking weed or doing anything like that. There's a black pack clip, like the black woman stealing a backpack. There's a bunch of these. Like I could send you 50 of them off the top. But it's just, this is what Phil does. And that wasn't too long ago. That was like last year, to be honest. There's threads full of this stuff. Threads full of him being racist towards Asian people. Chicky Chang Wang kind of commentary, things like that. And he's been doing it for years. It does it.
So I do know he did have some, stereotype charged jokes. I've heard a little bit in the past, but these are like old. Like you said, the Chinese one just now, right?
Yeah, that's an older one.
That's probably the only one I have heard. Yeah, I did hear that one before.
That's probably in the This Is How You Don't Play is probably the one where it comes from. There's a bunch of them, and it happens over and over again. How does that make you feel as a streamer of color? Is it hard to get over this when you see this guy who you were trying to have live streams with kind of put this stuff into his content? And I do want you to watch his response here shortly as well, because his response is out of left field for this clip. So I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up, and you can think and formulate your answer for a little bit. But let me bring the rest of his answer back.
Okay. Yeah. So what's going on there, man? Like, let's talk about that. Like, how does that when you see that? When you see that, how does that make you feel? What are you thinking? Do you regret that saying that? Like, is that edgy humor?
Well, first of all, I have an honest question for you guys. You've now seen it. I don't know if Adam has ever seen that clip before. Okay.
No, I haven't.
I gotta mute this.
What do you think the joke was there? I'm just curious. What do you think I was trying to joke about?
That you're selling that girl to the slave trade.
Okay.
That's what it sounded like, and that's pretty fucked up.
Okay. Now, from what reference do you think? How can I say this? Okay, I'll approach it from the detractor perspective. Okay, from the detractor perspective.
No, I want to hear your perspective of what you meant.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. We'll do both.
It's pretty obvious what the detractors mean. Like for me, that would have put me on the detractor side because it sounds like you were making a joke about selling that little girl to the slave trade. How is it not that? Like, what did you mean?
Oh no, that's absolutely, that's the joke. But there's a difference between saying that's okay and it's funny, or the ridiculousness of the situation. See, you just saw that clip completely out of context, correct? You don't know what's going on in the game right there.
Okay, explain the context then.
That sheriff is a corrupt sheriff. He is actually orchestrating a situation to try to murder people inside a building to protect his secrets. He's like a dark guy who controls the whole town. And no one knows this. Everyone thinks the sheriff's a squeaky clean guy. So this is being revealed throughout the plot of the game. He's a scumbag, right? So the joke is this guy's such a scumbag.
Pause it real quick.
He's saying to the dad, I'm going to save your daughter. Give me your daughter. Let's take.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It was like hearing his explanation. It's actually really upsetting because you say he explains what's happening in the game, and I was going to ask you what fucking game it was. I was going to look it up and figure out where that scene was, where it was going, all the above. But he literally just answered my question. So he made it even worse by giving this explanation because it really was no fucking reason to make the joke. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. This is what we're here for. I want you to get these raw takes out on some of this stuff that you might not have seen from Phil. And his answer continues to disappoint.
Take him in and rescue her. But in reality, he's such a scumbag, he'd probably do something like that. He'd probably, traffic people. That's the joke. Now, is it a joke that's acceptable by today's standards? By 80% of people, probably not. I agree with you.
Do you think that's a joke? Like, do you think that's a joke acceptable by any standards? Like, I don't.
Even a decade ago, 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago.
And it's like, I just want to hear your thoughts on that because I think there's edgy content, then there's inappropriate content, and we've all been guilty of edgy content before, So
I think it's dark humor. It's definitely skirting the risque. Okay, not to say that I've heard much worse, obviously, from other people, but that doesn't make it okay for me to do it. I know that. And there's
especially with what's following you around, your reputation, right? Do you think that if the light truly went off in your head to say like I got to change, don't you think it would be like, well, maybe I should bite my tongue on this one? I may be thinking it, but how about I bite my tongue on this?
Yes, I 100% agree with you. And it's a working process. It's something that has to happen naturally over time. It's not something that can be a switch that's flipped because, again, I was someone who's done this for 15 years back in the day. That's what people came to watch. That's the content they wanted from me. That's what got me popular on YouTube. That kind of ridiculous, unacceptable, over-the-top, dark humor joke, okay? Today, it's not acceptable. I know that. But the thing is, those jokes still click in my head. I absolutely should have not done that joke. I will tell you that right now, 1,000,000%. you know, but it's a working process. And here's where you have to have some kind of an air of fairness, or at least you have to see the big picture. All right. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been doing it full time for a job since 2011. I do it 6 days a week, full time. 6 days a week, I'm here, full time streaming. I have over 100,000 videos on the internet. Okay. People will always find something that moment of weakness, that stupid thing that I said. And I know, stupid Phil, why the hell did I make that joke? But once it's out there, it's out there. And all you can do is apologize for it, say you're going to do better and try not to do it, and move on. Now, there's a reason why I'm on this show today. Okay? This is what, March 16, 2023. And you had to show a clip, one random clip from last summer. You didn't show something I did in the last week, the last month. You showed something from the one moment of weakness. Whenever I do something stupid on the internet, it gets hyper analyzed, you know, looked in with a microscope and blown away. This is what Dark Side Phil is. Have you watched the last 5 years of content I've put out? There's probably, okay, yes, I'm a human. I make errors. Absolutely. And I'm stupid. And I do dumb stuff when I get over emotional. This is not the norm on my streams. People see that clip out of context like you guys just did. And if all you knew of Dark Side Phil was that joke, you would hate my guts. You'd be like, what a scumbag. He made a joke about child trafficking. What kind of a horrible person thinks child trafficking is funny? When you watch it in context, it's not as bad, but it's still bad. But when you watch
the context that you explained didn't make it any better, I'll be honest.
That's fine. I agree.
Because
That's fine.
I'm not sure which character you're even like portraying. So were you acting as the sheriff in that situation?
Yes, that's why I did. That's why I did like the
Exactly.
accent. Yes.
I don't know. I think that, like, in a situation like that, like, we live in a society now where, like, look, I understand that going into this interview, that literally every second of this is going to be analyzed, and Adam understands that, and you understand that, right? But literally everything you say, there's a camera on you at all times, especially when you're a live streamer, you know? And I mean, for somebody who does this for a living, I just feel like you have to be able to bite your tongue at sometimes, and you need to know better. I mean, you said it yourself, the switch was flipped, and I understand that. I totally understand. I am very forgiving of mistakes, right? But when there's a pattern of these things that go back over the course of time, like, it's no longer a mistake. It's a continuation. So I don't know. I think, look, if you're saying that I'm also a big believer in taking people at their word, right? Up until their actions show different. So you're saying that over the course of since that joke, you've been pretty squeaky clean, and you haven't made inappropriate jokes like that are that edgy, I guess.
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't want to say that because I'm here 6 days a week full time. You know, that's a lot of my life. And I guarantee you, if I say, man, yeah, that was it, Craig, that's all I remember, immediately there'll be other examples tossed out right now. They'll find it, right?
I understand.
And that's the problem is when you are 100% on the internet at all times, with the amount of content I put out on the internet, they will always find another example or whatever. I am actively trying to change. What I will say is this. You would be challenged in the last maybe 2-3 years to really find a running pattern of me doing really bad jokes like that. Okay, maybe you'll find a few. I'm definitely a flawed individual, but you're not going to find it as like you wouldn't say, oh, here's 47 times within a year that Phil did that. I know for a fact he's a scumbag, right? You'll find one time here, one time here, one time here, and then they blow it
Phil,
up on the internet.
You just gave so many different people a reason to do exactly that.
Oh, they will. I know that, but the thing is, they do it anyway. It doesn't matter what I say or do. This is what they do. So
now you said that the switch in your brain, you know, was off, so that you made that joke. Like, do you have it in there that it's like thinking, like, when you said that you're like, maybe that was too much, or you were just free flowing, and that's just kind of you?
Let me put it this way: if I'm streaming and a joke pops into my head, and I feel, oh man, that's probably too much today, I usually will not say it. Usually, it'll be maybe an extenuating circumstance, or just for a second, a momentary lapse. I feel like what that was a momentary lapse.
I'll end that clip there, and we'll let chat kind of run it back. But don't worry, chat. I'm gonna splice everything from this whole thing together and put it out in one video just for you guys. Thanks for hanging in there, Brian. I really appreciate it. I profusely apologize for any of these technical difficulties that come back and forth through all this. And I really appreciate your time tonight. It's been a fantastic stream. We'll just...
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for pulling back some of the covers, you know, the little wool over your eyes and bringing it back and making you see a little bit of reality in all of this. What did you think about Phil's answer to that clip?
So nothing he said justified making that joke. Because as a content creator, as a streamer, as a public figure, as a man, you have to know when the time and place when something like that is not appropriate. He should have known that. This is his job. This isn't a hobby where he just made this joke to his friend that's sitting next to him on a couch. The internet's not watching. No, the internet's fucking watching. They're watching your every move. He should know better. That is certain things you just don't say. Under any circumstances, whether he was being recorded or not, like as a decent person, that's just not a joke you make. And whether you were role playing that character or not, I feel like in that particular situation, I'm going to be on the side where, I'm not going to role play this character that's being proposed to me as a absolute scumbag, because it's not funny. This dude's potentially trafficking kids. Why would I want to role play this character? Especially if it wasn't something that he had been consistently doing throughout that entire playthrough, which doesn't excuse it. But let's say, for example, he was role playing this entire thing. Why would you choose that fucking character is beyond me. But okay, that's what you chose to do. That's your humor. Your audience forgave you for it. Fair enough. He should have never, ever made that joke. And what's his name? The guy with the beanie, Adam?
Yeah, that's Adam Krigler. He used to be associated with Tim Pool.
Yeah, Adam should not. Adam did a really good job on not pulling his punches with those questions.
Yeah, Adam
so
really
yeah,
held
seriously,
up
he was the hero. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
He was the hero. He was Chatham. He was whatever you wanted. He cast a lot of doubt as just an average person who was talking to Phil and who didn't watch Phil's content, who hasn't watched it, who barely talked to detractors. I tried to reach out to him just so he had a crash course on what he was dealing with, but he never got back to me. And he kind of went into it blind. And he saw that clip and you got his raw take from it. And so that's a pretty embarrassing answer from Phil. And this does continue to happen to this day. I mean,
nothing he said justified his actions. Not a word.
Does this sour your mood more towards Phil?
Oh, 100% it does. And so I'm going to go off for a little bit here. All right. So baby man gaming, you're forever associated with this maniac. First of all, I am in control of my own fucking life. I am not forever associated with Phil. I'm never going to be forever associated with Phil. I shape my own destiny. I'm doing it right fucking now, which is why I'm on this show talking to Agent. Had Phil had any control, or what do the people call it? Pignosis, right?
Yeah.
Had he had any of that shit going against me, I wouldn't be sitting here having a conversation with Agent. So do me a favor. Before you make judgments on who I am as a man and my character, get to know me first, because you don't know me.
That well said. I mean, I feel you. As a grown man, there's certain things you can't say that you should bite your tongue about, and if it's part of your business, you got to learn to shut the fuck up. And that's just a grown man trait. And you've seen it time and time again. The steak rant, the different rants about him not getting paid enough, the other rant about him telling somebody to eat shit with a spoon out of his ass. I'm sure you caught that rant recently too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'd seen that, and I saw the variation. The variation of it was like a song from it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool songs and detractor songs out there. I got one to end the stream on just because it's my favorite one, and it involves a bear. But do you see yourself?
The thing is, so somebody. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
brother.
go for it.
I probably shouldn't be reading your chat so much, but I can't help it.
Oh no, read away. They're all good dudes out there.
This is the streamer in me. So it's Phil asked me to play a game with him. All right, that didn't mean I was going to be like on his streams forever or constantly coming around, because I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, the people who I've talked to the most since this whole thing has come about, it's been the quote unquote detractors. Are you guys talking to me because you want to see me troll Phil? You want to see me go off on Phil? Not really. I don't think that's what you guys want.
Have
y'all just been who y'all are. Y'all have not harassed me. Y'all have not called me names. I have like maybe one or two people who's like, oh, this dude's fucking cringe. I was over in King's, what's the name? King Slice.
Oh,
in his chat the other day, and somebody, I was over there to, shooting the shit with him.
Yeah.
And somebody called me a fence sitter. And that's fine. You can have your opinion, but you can hear it from the horse's mouth. I only choose the side that makes the most sense. And if neither side makes no fucking sense, I'm not going to choose a side. With that being said, everything the detractors have presented to me has made perfect sense. I have talked to over 25 plus detractors.
Damn.
You know how many Phil fans I've talked to?
How many?
Take a wild guess.
None. Nobody
0.
coming chirping at you. No, not even K Styles, my man, who called me a basement dwelling troll the other day that has no job and no life.
So has he didn't really say much to me. So this is my point. You got all these people coming forward to tell me all of this shit. Videos like this, videos like this, different information about Derek, the side scrollers information. All of this stuff is provable through video, text, whatever, right? Not one of his fans came through to basically defend their streamer.
Damn.
So for me, that's a problem.
Not even one of
like,
his whales, huh? Not even somebody like Ryan or anybody like that who's got Phil's back.
So it's like you look at it, and again, maybe I overlooked it, but I feel like I didn't. Where are all these people to show me the good in this guy versus the people that are quote unquote showing me the real him, right? There's two sides to every story, usually, right? Is it not?
You're right. That's why I asked you here.
One has to, right. And I've always had this opinion about the detractors. Literally always. That you guys were misunderstood. A lot of you were people who literally just wanted to call him out on this bullshit, which goes back to what I said. When you asked me the question about if friends in his life would benefit him. Yes, because had he had friends in his life, his friends would have been saying the same shit the quote unquote detractors say. The shit that quote unquote I say, which this whole meeting with you tonight.
Yeah.
Do you think I told him I was doing this?
No, but I know his flying monkeys have told him and ran it down.
I did tell him I was fucking doing it.
Oh, damn.
I did tell him I was doing it because that's who I am.
Okay.
I'm upfront about every fucking thing I do.
Damn. Look at that. Basic
and I told him straight up. I told him straight up. I was like, I am doing a sit down with Agent Proper. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk about this, and that. The stream is mainly going to be about me and what people want to see. What the hell am I even doing on YouTube again or interacting with Phil? Right?
Yeah.
He didn't respond. So whatever.
I think you might get a response at some time, and it might not be one that's
perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But here's the thing: if somebody is so willing to get rid of a person that is willing to tell them when they shit stinks, that can potentially better their life, their community, their business, their potential money making, then my friend, I don't think I was your friend at all.
All right.
Because friends do that to each other. They keep it real. They tell you when you're being a shithead. They tell you when you're being smart, when you're being stupid, when you're dating a girl that's not good for you. That friend, that real friend, is going to fucking tell you the truth. A person who wants to see you fail, who wants to hide things, is going to not say anything. He would have found this shit out from one of his lurking fucking fans that's probably in your chat right now that didn't message me the stuff that would make him look better in the light. He would have found out from one of them. But no, he found out from the fucking horse because I told it to him before we even went live. I told it to him 12 hours ago.
Damn. And he ghosted you on it. Said nothing.
Basically.
Okay.
But again, if you wanna ghost a friend that is that honest, that is actually potentially could be the thing you needed in your life to help you turn this shit around for you, then I can't help you. It is what it is.
Okay. Yeah, I feel you. Do you think Bill needs to get a job at this point? Like a real job?
That's so
away from streaming. Do you think it'd be more beneficial for him to work a part-time job at this point, to have some real world interaction with actual people, and then to go home and stream at night?
It would be more beneficial to him, only not financially. It would be beneficial to his mind and actually going out and being social and learning how to talk to people. That way, when he talks to people on the internet, it's not awkward. When people say shit to him, it's not awkward.
Do you feel like he was awkward with you during your last few co-op streams?
100%. 100%. It's and again, this is not, none of this is me throwing shade. I can only react to the things that I observe. And considering I was the other party present, I even noticed when a dead air would occur. Why? I'm a streamer as well. It's my job to provide a entertaining stream for the public that is watching me go live. Whether, I don't give a damn if it's one viewer. If it's one person watching me, that motherfucker watching me is going to have the best time, so as long as I'm live. So with that being said, I'm keep saying that, right?
That's okay.
Shouts out to that podcast.
Shout outs to the podcast. I know those boys want to get you on sooner or later, especially if there's any fallout from Phil. They want you on. They want to talk to you. If Phil has any meltdown about this interview tonight or any other talk, they want you on. I'll tell you that 100% right now. So big shout out to the boys. Big shout out to Meerkat.
I've seen so many different critiques on that stream that we did that it was awkward, blah 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 blah, right?
You're right.
And I agree. It was awkward. As a streamer trying to communicate with him, how did you think I feel? When I make fun of the chats that you guys would send me, and I shouldn't have to tell somebody who's been streaming longer than me when you're supposed to just go with the fucking joke.
I've had a fantastic time despite our technical issues. It's been very enlightening. I've never been able to talk to somebody who's been able to articulate their words and very kind of precisely speak as a grown man towards Phil and his action as somebody who's interacted with him on a personal level. It doesn't happen for us. It's interesting to get your take on it, to get your view as somebody who's streaming as a hobby, would love to do it as a job. I respect your hustle a lot, and I think a lot of these other detractors respect you for doing what you're doing tonight, because you're being a grown man. You're coming to me one-on-one. You've told Phil that you're doing it too, so you're not hiding shit from anybody. You're coming out here and speaking your truth, and I really respect you for doing that tonight. So if you would like to start up a stream and want a clean version of the couple last 30 minutes of this conversation, more power to you. Feel free to bring it up.
So I will say this, just so we get everything out, all the questions you had listed. I know I gave you like an hour time frame.
Yeah.
But I'm here until you get everything you wanted out. So
you've answered.
If we got to start over again, that's perfectly fine with me.
I think you've answered majority of the questions that I've had for you. I know Chad has had a couple ones. Like, they wanted to know if you've talked to any of the Connecticut crew. A long time ago you were in
Connecticut crew.
Yeah, that John Rambo Presents. I way back in the day.
Oh my god, dude.
Midnight Skull.
Dude, I fucking miss John so much, man. All right, so let me talk about John for a minute. John was somebody who I wish was still in my life, because he presented me with an opportunity when the internet, basically this whole YouTuber thing, was relatively new to me. I was still playing football, and I was slowly but surely trying to get myself into starting training for professional wrestling. Was my original dream.
Okay.
Right. So at that point, best shape of my life, he put something out. I don't know where he put it. It was random as hell. But he said he was on Twitter. He said he was looking for somebody to be a supervillain in Snozman and Hole Punch. So I'm like, what the hell? I've been doing extra roles and stuff like that for random movies. Why not? I'll throw it out there and see what's up. I put it out there. John emailed me back in like an hour. After, like, I sent him a picture. I sent him a picture and the idea I had for a character. I had already had this character created called Skull Midnight. So I had the costume already, because the character was supposed to be for another internet show that I was going to be on.
Okay.
But that show unfortunately never got off the ground. So I'm like, hey, boom, let's pitch it to John. John absolutely loved it. He flew.
Watch your fight scene?
I went out. If you want, sure.
All right.
You know where it is?
Oh, I have it lined up.
I believe, yes.
Please carry on with how this all went down with John Rambo. Well, I set this up.
So Brian is a nerd. Aren't we all nerds, bro?
Yeah, we're streaming on the internet. We're fucking nerds.
So John was the best, man. Like, I wanted to give him back the money he paid for me to come over there. He refused.
Damn, he paid
you?
He
said, no, you're my guest. You're my guest. He's like, you're letting me use your character for my show. You came all the way out here. Boom. And no, I wasn't paid, but he paid for my trip. The payment for me was meeting 3 guys that were really, really cool to be around. And at that point, I had done John Rambo Presents the show a few times with them
Yeah.
after that, because at that point these were growing to be my friends, and through John I met Phil.
Okay.
Unfortunately, over the years, John fell out of love with the internet. A lot of issues that he was going through on his personal level. A lot of issues he had with Phil, some of which he did ask me how I would feel about it, etc. And
Okay.
I would probably still be in touch with John had my phone that had his number in it not gotten stolen from me.
If
Unfortunately, my Google contacts weren't transferred. So I had lost John's number completely. And at that point, John had wiped himself away from the internet. So I had no way to contact John anymore. And that was rough for me.
Okay.
Because when
that sucks.
When I was used to talking to him at least a few times a week, and we would just shoot the shit about the most random shit ever. And I missed the dude, but I couldn't really talk to him anymore. So he fell off the internet. I stopped doing YouTube myself. I was heavily focused on just building my career. And, here we are now. I heard he's doing well for himself, which I'm very happy to hear about.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Yeah, he's been winning some awards for his films with him and other John, OJ. They've been directing some short films and stuff. If I can
really good
collect
guys,
some
man.
detractor powers and maybe reach out to some people, maybe somebody like June the King, who just wrote a documentary on Phil. Him and I were talking. Maybe he's got some contact information. I can try to get a hold of that and forward it to you. Maybe I can hook you up, and maybe you can just drop an email to John, see how he's doing. Because he was always a good dude. He fell, unfortunately, to some of Phil's antics. Like, he lost his job with GameStop way back in the day. He made a video about that. Him and Howard made a stream about their falling out with Phil.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet Panda Lee or anybody else close to Phil? Any of his family members?
I never met. No.
Okay.
No, I met people that were closer to OJ and John than Phil people.
Okay.
Like Phil came a little later, and that only happened because of John. Had it not been for John, me and Phil would have never had an internet meeting.
Okay. So would you like to get in contact with John and try to mend some fences and get back in and maybe be an extra in one of his films down the road?
So for me, getting in contact with John would be strictly just to say, yo, I remember when you was on the internet making Snozman and Hole Punch. I remember the creative process you went through. I remember the sacrifices you made. I remember the risk you took on bringing a random dude from Philly that you never even knew to be a character in your show. I just want to tell the dude, congratulations, I'm proud of you. Now, if he was to say, hey, I want to bring you in on something, sure, I'll do it. Absolutely. But I want to make it a point that my reason for only wanting to talk to John again, because he's in a different chapter of his life, I'm not in it. I just want to tell the man I'm proud of him. That's it. And that I never forgot what he did for me, because he was struggling back then. I was struggling too. I had just lost my job, just like he did. And I spent some risky money trying to get down there. He made sure I didn't suffer from that. They fed me. They treated me like a king, man. And again, I will never forget that.
Okay. So, yeah. Sounds like you're a real dude. I think a lot of chat would agree with me that you're just
damn,
a guy
that shit
out
got
there
me tearing the fuck up, man.
Dude,
hold on, bro.
It's rough. I get it. I've lost some friends over the years and just don't talk to them anymore. And I know how that goes. But when you're that tight with somebody and they stepped up their game to elevate you further, I mean, that's what we try to do around here in the detractor community at this point in time. We're not about gatekeeping. We're not
Yeah.
about doing any of that kind of stuff. Sure, there's some people who get sent away or, shit on for their different poor takes of their own personal doings, but a lot of us end up trying to just be real motherfuckers with other detractors. And we're at a point now where most of us stream just like this. We all have 9-to-5 jobs just like you. We're the every guy.
Yeah.
And I really, really do appreciate you saying that about John, because it's nice to get that confirmation that John's a real one just like you.
He is. He is.
Chat's blowing up.
OJ too, and Howard's a great guy too.
Yeah. Howard's streaming again. I saw him the other day go live. Like last week. Maybe you should drop by one of his YouTube streams. Yeah. He would probably have contact info for John.
I should.
Big ups to Howie, because he was telling it real too. So that'd be cool. I would love to get you guys reconnected somehow, and I'll do my best.
You know what? So I will drop some more lore for you guys. So there was a time when I was doing a podcast like a while ago, and Phil wanted to come on and talk about his situation that he did, right? So I did it, but somebody had during that podcast, somebody had asked a question about John and Phil went into it during that podcast. That podcast no longer exists. I'm sure it's probably like a clip randomly somewhere about Phil trying to explain what the hell he was masturbating to during that little incident, right?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we all know about that incident.
The rest of that show is gone. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you why it was gone. It was gone because of John. I deleted it out of respect for John.
Okay.
Because he felt some type of way about some of the things that Phil had said on that show in regards to their relationship, and him reading out text or some shit like that. I really can't remember, but that show, I deleted it immediately, and it had a good amount of views on it. My YouTube was getting so much more attention, but that wasn't worth betraying a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I believe one of the detractors, Mr. Stuff, has it. Actually, your whole thing. Now, the other piece of content I was asked to try to get from you was a Mortal Kombat review that Phil was part of. Do you remember
Mortal
that at all?
Kombat review?
Yeah, it was back in the day. I think my guy Ann Leet over there in chat was hunting down for it. He asked me specifically for it. I guess Phil had some kind of a take with you talking about Mortal Kombat at some point in time. I vaguely
probably
remember.
Mortal Kombat X, I'm gonna say.
I assume. It was a few years ago. Maybe Ann can chirp up in chat and let us know what that was about. But I believe that Phil...
Is there a clip of it or anything like that?
Not that I've seen in a long time. I haven't. You might have a clip somewhere. I don't know. Maybe somebody does a...
I definitely know I don't.
Yeah, he says it's MKX. Thanks, Ann. Trying to elevate it. But, yeah, I guess he wanted to see some of those takes from Phil and go over some of that stuff. But...
yeah, you'll have to refresh me because I have no idea what it was.
Yeah, well, maybe Ann can reach out to you and try to DM and jog your memory. I got the biggest question for you, though, to start wrapping up the show before we have any other mishaps. What did you have for dinner tonight?
Okay. Believe it or not, I had a BLT. Turkey bacon, specifically.
Turkey bacon. Do you have gout?
Because... hell no, I'm too athletic for that bullshit. Come on, bro. What? Come on.
I had to ask. Nice turkey bacon BLT. Nice. Good.
Come on, man. I gotta stay healthy. I gotta keep my peanut butter complexion intact.
Oh,
You heard?
I hear you. You gotta keep that look crispy.
I did see a highlighted question in your chat.
We're back up.
The baby man actually DDoSing you right now.
Oh, because are you just being mean to baby man, Jamie? Because
No,
apparently there was a highlighted one. So go for it.
I was gonna answer his question. Yeah, I was gonna answer the question. Yeah, so anyway, he asked me, I think he said thoughts on Phil reading John's private text. Yeah, that's something you should never do. That's something you should never do. It's basically it's a violation of trust. And I'm pretty sure that's what John felt. He felt like his trust was violated.
Yeah, that's got to be rough. Like whenever anybody comes in there and you feel like that's the reason. Like people ask me to see if you could reveal some DMs or show us some behind the scenes conversations with Phil. I haven't asked you about that because really that's none of my business. That's between
Thank you,
and
baby
everybody
man.
else.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's a solid question. That's for sure. But like it's just one of those lines where I try not to really reveal any DMs with anybody of the people I talk to. It's just out of courtesy and respect for another person. But I always keep them in pocket just in case if somebody wants to,
Right.
go to war.
Right.
But-
No, like there are situations where like if somebody comes out to me and be a complete shithead and I want to just completely wreck them, then yeah, I might read your text because fuck you. But if it's somebody like I respect and I still have respect for, obviously those things are going to stay hidden. I'm not going to say shit about that.
Do you have any plugs? Any streams coming up? Anything you want to shout out before we wrap this up?
Not really, honestly, guys. Like if the only thing I can say is if you want to support me, if you guys want to throw Phil stuff at me, I can't promise that I'll always react to it. But I'm a very open-minded person, as you know. I'm willing to look at whatever you guys send. It just might not always be in the moment. Because like if I'm doing Street Fighter, it's probably just going to be Street Fighter. You get what I'm saying? Like I said, I like to run a very random stream. I don't like things to be so fucking in a box, if that makes any sense. So you want to come to the stream and have fun? Come to the stream and we'll have some fun. Just respect that it's top tier rated stream and not a dark side Phil stream. All right.
Fair answer,
That's all I can say. And I do not expect you guys to do anything financially for me. Like I'm the streamer. I want to earn whatever it is you want to give me. And that could be something as simple as you just watching me for 5 minutes, because all that shit goes a long way. So yeah, that's the most I can say. I don't want Brian to become a distractor.
My last question for you: Do you respect Phil after this, and will you respect him if he has any kind of a reply to this conversation you and I had?
So my respect for him has definitely went down a ton after seeing that clip with that little girl in the game or whatever he was playing. That's very problematic for me. I don't like that. And again, as a responsible adult, you should know when you're supposed to draw that line. And that was a line that he should have drawn many times. And it wasn't a joke. It was a really, really stupid thing to say. You can't even say it was a joke. So yeah, I can say that my respect for him is severely dipped. The only way for that to be remedied is Phil would have to make a dramatic change in terms of how he treats his audience. Because the whole taking shit out of context thing is a poor excuse, in my opinion. It's not. You can't go off on your stream because they were talking about steak. And there's no misunderstanding here when you respond with things like, oh, well, go to a food channel or some shit like that. Like, clearly we're talking about food here. There is no misunderstanding. You should not ever talk to the people that are signing your paycheck that way. Because guess what? If I go to work tomorrow and I said that to my boss, I'd be titling the stream, hey, 24-hour stream, just lost my job, guys.
That's real funny because actually Phil did that many years ago. When he lost his job with his helicopter.
He did a 24-hour stream?
No, he did an unemployment madness is what he called it. You can search it up on his old channel.
Did he really?
Yeah, Dark Side Phil, if you search it up, there's an unemployed madness where he sat there and bitched about losing his job and played Street Fighter 4 all day. And it was wild. It was wild. That's for sure. And that was kind of the first early inklings of like this guy's for real. Like something's up.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been watching Phil for about 16 years since he kind of started on YouTube. And
good God.
Yeah, it's been one roller coaster that I'm waiting for it to end. Because there's been some big drops, some bigs up and down, and quite a bit of craziness. So I know that we're going to wrap it up here. And I know a lot of detractors want some matches with you. I know they want to play some matches on Street Fighter 6. I've had a wild idea. I was going to set up an online tournament in the future. Use my internet site, Gautopia.net, as a forum to allow people to put up brackets, to put up matches, to go ahead and host their content on. And I would like to have like a monthly, kind of bi-monthly tournament with anybody. Just have it be open. Pros, amateurs, straight up scrubs. We'll have 3 different tiers for stuff like that. To come in and enjoy, have some bants, have some like SRK kind of form, shit talk, and then bring it back to where you guys can all get matches in. Would you like to color commentate some of this, or commentate over it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Commentary is something when it comes to like fighting games. Funny story. So I was in a tournament, one of the few online ones I won for Street Fighter 6. The next one they said no master rank players are allowed.
Damn.
So I couldn't play in the next one. So because they wanted to give chances to the diamond ranks and the platinum ranks. So basically anybody who wasn't master, they wanted to give a chance to. That tournament, I said, you know what? Can I do commentary? They was like, sure. Bro, that was some of the most fun I had. So, yes. So, sign me up for that.
Perfect,
please.
Perfect. I'll hit you up with that. I've got it rolling. Hopefully we won't have terrible internet issues. Maybe you can host it on your Twitch even. I'd be down with that. It'd be super fun. Bring your friends. I'll bring detractor homies. Big ups to Raw Phil, who plays a tight Cammy game. A piece of peace has been beating Phil left and right, and crapping on him and enjoying fighting games for what they are. It's really commendable to see people come out and play games together and enjoy games for what games are supposed to be.
You know what? So Sequence said something that kind of jumped out to me a little bit. Sequence says master doesn't mean shit in Street Fighter 6. So I 100% agree with that. And it's not just Street Fighter 6 though. The quote unquote higher ranks of any fighting game, if I'm being honest here, doesn't mean anything if you literally haven't understood basically every aspect of what makes your character or what makes you a master of that character. I didn't feel like I was a master rank Minot until I've done maybe 4 locals already. because there were things I was just doing. I wasn't hit confirming. I wasn't making people hurt when they made a mistake. I wasn't whiff punishing, but I was in master rank when I was not doing any of this. So it's like, how could I be a master if I don't even know what to do when I get a counter drive impact? So went back to the drawing board and I stopped even thinking about ranking points. That's why my thing is stuck at 15. Now I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to try to get up to legend where Snake Eyes and all of them are playing at, because I want to be able to play them on a consistent basis. That's my reasoning for that. That being said, you're not going to ever be your ranking if you don't understand how your character is supposed to flow. That means your anti-airs, your corner setups, everything, your punishes. Master rank doesn't mean shit if you don't know any of those. So don't let the rank fool you, because a diamond can know a lot more than a fucking master rank, because that diamond might actually go to locals and the master rank doesn't. So throw that ranking shit out the window, bro. Just learn the game.
Just play the game, man. Play it for what it is and enjoy the experience. Try to learn some matchups. Try to play some stuff. I like to play shooters too. I get it. So yeah, I'll definitely dial in some tournament stuff. I would love to host with you, talk with you, enjoy it, and get something running behind the scenes later down the road. Do you have any plans of streaming tonight?
I was supposed to start my stream at 11.
Okay.
This again, I'm not blaming you.
You can blame me.
So we went over our time a little bit. I will probably stream me speed running Elden Ring so I can get ready for the DLC that's about to come out.
Go.
And then I'm gonna take my ass to bed because I got work at 6 a.m. Okay. So
you hear that, guys? TopTierRated on Twitch. He's over there. You can hit him up anytime he streams. You can go talk to him. He's an actual true honest guy who wants to entertain you with his streams. Big ups. Thank you, Brian, so much for being part of my disaster stream. I really appreciate it. I think it was very enlightening for everybody, and you're a fantastic guest.
Not to make this go any longer, but I like to make sure I answer questions that I've took note of answering already. Somebody asked me in the chat, do I plan on doing co-op streams with Phil in the future? As of now, I'm going to do my own thing. Whether that means I continue to do things with my circle of friends that I normally play Street Fighter with, do it on my lonesome, do it with some people that are from the quote unquote detractor community.
Okay.
That's all the stuff I'm going to be doing, right? As far as Phil is concerned, I've learned too much about him that paint him in a light that I don't want to associate with until he's bettered himself and or made decisions that would make people like me more comfortable being around him. So that goes into some of the stuff I said in the past. Like, if you got all this risky business stuff dealing with somebody in your community, then you probably should get rid of them. That's just me. And no, the trolls didn't take me from DSP. Some of his actions and behaviors did. And do I hate the guy? Not by any means. I don't hate him. I don't want to see the downfall of him or anything like that. As far as I'm concerned, we're just two different people. He does things that I don't agree with, and I just can't be a part of that. And until he betters himself with how he treats his audience, how he does his streams, not making them so kind of a little too constricting for my taste, you know? Yeah. Like we shouldn't have to do this overly scheduled lobby, right? You know, I get it. You want to advertise so people show up. I get that. But for me, it's too caged. It's a little too caged. Like sometimes, bro, you just gotta go. You gotta run the show. And if it comes down to the fact, like, yo, you want to get on, yeah, it's not organic. Exactly. There's a certain thing called overscheduling. I think he does that. So for my style of content creation does not flow with that. I would do really well with somebody who's a little bit more free flowing, who's willing to get off a Street Fighter in the same stream, and an hour later we play fucking Destiny or Rainbow Six or something like that. That's just me.
That so sounds like you just
it's just a conflict of stuff.
You just got to sign me up. We'll show up.
Yeah. So it's just a conflict of styles and some of his decision making with how he treats his fans that I've observed through videos and some stuff that I saw from the past that I just can't vibe with. So, you know, I got to do me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much again for joining me for this. It's been the best interview I could hope for. It's been fantastic. I wish you the best with your stream grind. I hope a lot of the detractors see what I see from you, is that you're a real one and you're on the grind, you're working it, you're trying to push yourself further. And I think that's very commendable, because I can't help you unless if you help yourself first. So big ups.
Facts.
You Facts. Have the detractor community, majority of us have your back and want to see you succeed. Hopefully we can hook you up with some of the old school Connecticut guys and get the ball rolling with some of this tournament idea stuff that I have. So
again, definitely keep me posted, man.
Oh, we will. And maybe we'll get some Destiny.
Hey, if you need a logo, if you need a logo or something for it made, I'm sure, the detractor community, talented motherfuckers. So I'm sure you can get something made, some graphics or something for it. But if you can't, hit me up, because I can do stuff like that too.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate it. Thank you, chat, for being here, putting up with all the disconnect bullshit and all the other nonsense. Big ups to Comcast. Big ups to beer, because I had a couple. And go check out Brian. You can hit him up on Twitter. He's got an Instagram. He's over there on Twitch. He's got his YouTube out there. It's all top tier rated. That's what he is. That's where you can find him. Go hit him up. Tell him I said big ups. Much love from the detractor community, my guy. And we wish you all the best in your future.
Absolutely. Much love, guys.
Have a good one, chat. We're getting out of here.
Thank you for having me, Proper. Seriously, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a joy.